Hi, I'm Asif Faki. I'm an interventional neurologist and a program director for neurosciences at Los Robles Hospital. So going back to the basics, if you have a hypothesis, like if you feel that something is going to work, then you need to create an experiment and test it in the experiment. So a clinical trial is a study which is done on humans to study the effects of certain medications or certain treatment options like surgical methods, and it is already being used in experiments behind the scenes. So these devices are already being tried in animals, then they have been tried in a smaller population of humans, and then when it comes to a larger clinical trial, it means that it has already proven the safety, and now we're looking at the efficacy of the treatment. So, like any other field, it's important to continue to move forward, right? So, continue to modify our devices, continue to modify our treatments, and the clinical trials help us to get there. For example, in 1990, stroke was not a treatable disease, and in 1995, there was a large trial published on IVTBA, and that changed the management of the stroke completely. From disease that was not treatable, it became a disease that is completely treatable in an acute phase. So that's what the clinical trial does. It makes many treatment options available which are not currently available for certain diseases. So I think there's a benefit personally, and then there's a benefit as a large population. So for a person, if they're enrolled in a trial, that means that they have access to the advanced technology. If anything is studied in a clinical trial, it means that it's cutting edge technology, is new, and that is supposed to impact the outcome of the disease significantly. So as a person, you will get access to that, and then the larger advantage is that you're advancing the science, which means that if somebody is having a stroke, again going back to 1990s when we didn't know what we can treat the stroke with, if those patients would not have been enrolled in that trial 20 years now, which the treatment is now becoming a standard of care, would not have been a standard of care, and nobody would have had gained access to the stroke treatments. I can't stress that how important it is to advance the field of whatever field you are, medicine. And for me, the field of a stroke in the last 20 years has changed significantly, and all of that is because of the science, the technology, and the implication based on the clinical trials that we had.